Hello, my name is Tory Schendel Cox, and I'm the Virginia G. Schroder Curator of Art at the Evansville Museum of Arts, History, and Science. Currently in our main gallery, the exhibition, Eda Sterchi, Nomadic Spirit, is on display and will be on view till September 20th. I hope you can see the exhibition in person and use this resource as a guide for decoding the work of Eda Sterchi. What do I mean by decoding? When one visits this exhibition, you will notice that almost every work is titled Untitled. Also, unlike the works displayed in the Crescent galleries, Eda Sterchi's work has no pieces of information on the gallery label. While this is frustrating as a curator, in some cases, I am certain patrons feel the same. However, what if I told you this is one of the most brilliant displays? Let's unpack what I mean by this. Eda Sterchi was born in Olney, Illinois in 1885 and was one of 5 children of Swiss immigrants. Sterchi began her studies in art in 1908 when, at the age of 23, she enrolled in the Art Institute of Chicago, where she studied painting, drawing, printmaking, and sculpture. Sterchi was an avid traveler. She had a property in Phoenix, Arizona, and painted with friends in Taos, New Mexico. She traveled across Europe and continued her fine art studies in Paris, where she also exhibited work. While her American and European travels were unique and unconventional for an unmarried woman during the 20th century, I think her travels to North Africa are the most unique. Eda visited Morocco, Algeria, and Libya. However, the country that captured her imagination was Tunisia. Spending 12 years in country, Sterchi immersed herself in the culture and became proficient in Arabic. In this exhibition, the majority of featured works are from her time in North Africa. With this in mind, we will circle back to the proposed question. Why are these works titled Untitled, and why is this brilliant? Let's try an exercise. When you close your eyes, what picture comes to mind when I say good? What did you see? A bright light? Food? Perhaps people helping people in need? If you saw imagery like this, then you are thinking abstract. What do I mean by this? Do bright lights actually mean good? No, they mean the light is bright. Abstract means one is tying meaning to something that does not necessarily have that meaning. For example, when I say good and one thinks of food, food does not necessarily mean good. It means food. Why am I making you perform these exercises? It is to make you aware of your thought process as a Westerner. To decode the work of Eda Sterchi, one must shift their perspective as a Westerner and think like an Easterner. What does this mean? Let's do one more exercise. Close your eyes. What comes to mind when I say rock? Did you see a rock? Great! You saw an Eastern thought because Easterners think in pictures. Since Eda is painting in North Africa, did you know that North Africa is predominantly Islamic? During the second half of the 7th century, Islam spread from the Middle East to North Africa when the Umayyad Caliph from 661 to 750 of Damascus conquered the region by military force. While North Africa doesn't fall in the geographical Eastern divide, the region is Eastern because it is Islamic. And from our exercise, we learned Easterners think in pictures, which is what we see in Eda's work. Let's look at a few paintings and apply our Eastern lens. In this painting, what do you see? We see women dressed in burqas, which is an enveloping outer garment that covers the body and face at a textiles market. We see a woman holding a textile and inspecting it, while at the base of a painting, a woman is shown sitting on a pile of textiles. Why is this scene of ordinary life extraordinary? North African textiles are such a precious cultural asset, not only because of their functional diversity, such as carpets, sleeping rugs, partition walls, prayer rugs, covering for holy sites, and clothing, but their inestimable value lies in the stories that textiles narrate through their motifs and patterns, which display an infinite range of compositions and color variants, including pictograms and figures from many periods of all areas of life. The reason these women are particular about their textile selection is because of the direct meaning and power each piece holds. For the next painting, it actually has a title. Dance of the Ouled Nails offers a unique look into the blending of Islamic and North African culture. Look at this painting. What do you see? There's a myriad of men sitting, singing, and playing instruments. In the center, there is a woman with her arms extended as she is essentially fixated on the man in front of her. With her hips swaying and face exposed, this makes for interesting dialogue. Reflect on the last artwork we saw. Remember how the women were dressed in burqas? Here's the piece to reflect on. This is one example of how North Africans kept their authentic culture despite the conversion to Islam. Have you ever seen this dance performed? Let's go to YouTube. I will play for you a brief clip of how this scene would have looked to Eda Sterchi. With this imagery and music in mind, I hope when you visit this piece, you'll be able to reflect back on what you just saw and better understand what is going on in this picture. For the last work, I think this painting is one of the most powerful pieces when we put on our Eastern lens. In this picture, you will see a minaret. A minaret is a type of tower typically built into or adjacent to mosques. Minarets serve multiple purposes. While they provide a visual focal point, minarets are built in all shapes and sizes, usually on a square base, and house an internal staircase for the muezzin, a learned man schooled in Islam, to climb to call worshippers to prayer. With this in mind, I will play a brief clip of the call to prayer, or the adhan. Before I play the clip, be sure to examine the different minarets and analyze how they bring balance to the architectural structures.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة
Now that you've heard the clip, I hope you can understand why I think this work is one of the most powerful pieces. Whenever I walk by the work, I can hear the Adhan and can better appreciate this work and understand the importance of Islam to its followers. I hope your experience is similar. Furthermore, keep in mind, we are concluding general interpretations together. As you come to the exhibition, I challenge each of you to visit and draw your own interpretations and conclusions. I challenge you to look up the direct meaning of anything you don't know and encourage you to spell any abstract thought to allow the work to teach you as intended by the artist. We hope to see you soon. We appreciate your time, and this is an Evansville Museum of Arts, History, and Science recording. Bye.